All right, let's get this show on the road. I was waiting for the stream to start up, seeing if I'm looking at the camera correctly. Looks like this is working. Hey, what's up? This is Dave. This is What's Up Dave, my daily stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet, try to share some of what's going on here, try to keep some energy going between us.
Let's get this show on the road.
I'm getting some bad clipping.
Start up.
Good clipping here. Let me see if I can adjust the gain a little bit.
Hey, what's up? This is Dave.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
What's up, Dave?
Why is this so loud? Okay. Anyway, so what are we talking about today? We are talking about several things. So it's Monday, December 11th. I just got back from a long day, or not just, today I did a long IKEA run. Take about 4.5 hours total, back to back. What I was looking for was a bookshelf that was out of stock last time I went to IKEA. So I got this Billy bookshelf with glass doors. Hopefully it survived the trip back. What I liked about this particular one was it was dark blue, so I think it would look nice against the walls there, which are kind of a slate blue. And it'll kind of like maybe fade into it a little bit more, which without and still have some sort of contrast to it. So that's what I'm excited by. This is overall, I think, a plan to work on the living space. And let me go to the chat. The idea is to fix the living room up so it's I think ready for Christmas, and then also to start inviting more people over. And my point number 4 in the chat room, socializing and community building, I'm realizing a big part of my job right now. My job meaning something I've assigned myself to do, to create the sense of community and to create a kind of creative energy in the people I know here around here. I think that's increasingly important. Hey, Eric. Yeah, thanks for checking out the ETP version 4. I just released that to patrons on Patreon and in the co-working chat room in my perks channel, which are for patrons and for regulars in there. But getting back to it, I'm building community, and this being a job. On Sunday, I actually spent a good 7 hours socializing with people, like some new friends, just talking, hanging out in Starbucks, sharing some of our initiatives, some of our challenges and things like that, just on a personal level. Like, I'm trying to do this, I'm going through this, I'm dealing with this challenge in my life. And this morning I was talking to Dom, who is a friend of mine from graduate school, where we were both at RIT in the computer graphics design program. And we were just commenting, like he's back in upstate New York. We were commenting how, even though we're kind of like, people who like to keep to ourselves, we do need a certain amount of creative energy, and we do need a certain amount of that to share. It doesn't have to be a lot. It just has to be enough to keep us tied in and grounded, I guess, with our creative endeavors. Yeah, so I was asking him and my friend Alex yesterday about whether or not that they had any projects in mind or things that they wanted to create. And they said no. One of them said that they were more comfortable being part of something. And then the other said something along the lines of, it's hard to be motivated on that kind of stuff. And I find I have the same challenge. It's hard for me to be motivated on things that are just for me for some reason. I was talking about this a few days ago when I was talking about finding what my job description was. And so this whole living room cafe thing is the job description aspect of things. And this ties in with what Guitarpreneur is saying in the chat, about the happy bowl time stuff that I was doing the other day. That guilt-free puttering, I mean, could I justify that as being my job? And I would describe a job as having at least these two elements. One, it's an activity that you engage in regularly that produces some kind of result that's visible to other people. The second aspect of it is it actually has some benefit to you that is life-sustaining, maybe in a I have money to live sense. And so the big dream is to be able to have this job, this thing that I keep doing, that generates recurring revenue of some kind eventually. I think this is necessary because I work for myself these days. I freelance or I do other things like that. It's important to me for me to take the responsibility of generating those that stream of rewarding activities. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. It's been my dream to be able to figure out how to do that, to be able to make whatever impact that I'm intended to make, or make whatever impact that I want to make. And the big challenge is, and I think a lot of my creative friends have this challenge, is to create something or have a set of activities that's always rewarding, always fulfilling, and still unique, and still an aspect of themselves that can be shared and appreciated by others. That's the general challenge of the artist, I think, in today's society. The challenge in the sense that most other people don't really understand the arts. So although I work on technical stuff, I would say that I have the sensibilities of an artist. The reason that I do these things are not because technically they're interesting, or because someone is telling me to do them, or because they have some sort of market value, or it's part of another machine that someone else is putting together. It's because I think they have value and meaning to me. And it makes me happy when that value and meaning is shared by other people. Hence, talking about community, hence socializing, hence going all the way back, the living room cafe, which is, I guess this is my public space, or it will eventually be my sharing space. And it's really been on my mind a lot recently. I don't know why it's been. Probably because I'm a little bit bored. Possibly because I think it may be the way to create some more energy in myself to work on more difficult projects. Maybe it's just enough to say this, I just want to do it, and this ties into Happy Bubble Time. So perhaps one of my main products is Happy Bubble Time, and the space where I share it is in this space, on this stream, in our chat room, and spreading that around. But for it to become a legitimate job, it would have to produce tangible benefits that can generate some kind of revenue. Now, not all of it has to be that way. Maybe like a small part of it is, but that's the responsibility I have to myself, to be able to create that kind of content. So that's kind of what's on my mind. So everything I'm talking about here and everything that I'm doing in the Living Room Cafe is related to that. And it's related to creating this community. And it's related to finding ways to catalyze this activity in other people, because I love seeing that too. So that's what's on my mind. I wish I'd written that down. I gotta go back and read this, because tomorrow is Groundhog Day resolutions, and Groundhog Day resolutions are my yearly resolutions, or like New Year's resolutions, except I start them on Groundhog's Day on February 2nd, because I'm in no shape to make any decisions about what I want to do for the year on January 1st. That's insane. February 2nd is a perfectly fine day to do it, and then I do reviews on March 3rd, April 4th, May 5th. 12/12, which is tomorrow, is the last one of the year, and then I take a break for the holidays, because like it's just insane, right? To just try to get anything done when all this stuff is going on. At least I have the Christmas tree up. I got that up really early this year, and it's been just kind of nice not having to worry if I've waited too long to get the tree or to decorate it and stuff. But yeah, so tomorrow I'm gonna have to do a review of the year. And I might as well just take a quick look at what that looks like. Just really fast. Let me look at my Quiver board, or my Quiver notebook. Indexes. Oh wait, I have a Groundhog Day resolutions thing. November 11th was the last one. Oh, that's right. I had also made a distillation of what had happened during the year, so let's look at that. That'll probably be a little bit easier to look at. So I will go to my website at davidsay.com, and I will go to the investigations menu if it pops up. Groundhog Day Resolutions 2017. Let's embiggenify this page. In the back I have Lightroom where you can look at some pictures of the IKEA run. And I wrote a summary here of what I did. Or these are the directives. These are the goals I defined initially, and then how I amended them throughout the year. And the summary, this is what I want to look at. So this is supposed to give me the entire arc of what I did. I want to see what I wrote last month on November 11th. Decided to have conviction about being leader of message to be one's best self, to be a self-affirmed source of Daveness for a network of like-minded people. That's Directive G12. Reframed all of my past work under the G12 banner, which is a worthy mission statement that gives my work a renewed sense of purpose. Website and revenue generation are still necessary technical challenges, but I can now see my daily efforts are part of G12 and therefore of value. Value in the sense that it relates to G12, which is take on the leadership of being an active source for what I believe in and make possible for other active nodes to become part of my network. By active node, I really mean other people, but I'm nerding it up. So I'm just going to add some notes here. Job description looks like G12 from my November Groundhog Day resolutions. But I have also defined it as follows. 1. It's like happy bubble time all the time. 2. My public spaces, the living room cafe, or my public, my private, my shared private, let's call it semi-private, semi-public and public spaces, which are the living room cafe and also the live stream, or the, let's say, the YouTube channel, and also the co-working chat room, and also restarting local chapters or local meetups for creative project. So what's the name of someone who makes those projects? I'm blanking on the word. Creative people, I guess. I don't like the term creative because it seems it's kind of imprecise. Creative doers. I guess let's call them creative entrepreneurs. Is there a way of combining, making a new portmanteau of creative and entrepreneur? We'll just go like, or let's call it enterprising creatives. So my semi-public and public spaces are support happy bubble time, not just for me, but for a community. 3, the responsible part of the job is to ensure that revenue producing activities are part of the HBT community activity, or they feed each other in a synergistic way. So those are the notes I'm going to keep to myself. I see that there's a question. I'm so used to having a weekly planner. How would you implement ETP in a weekly setting, even though it's more of a daily planner? I know, okay, so that's, that actually came up before. I saw one person online print out the pages and they just array off, like if you're planning a 5-day week, he prints out 5 of these things and then he writes down what he wants to do on every single day. You might make it as a note thing. What I'm doing now is I'm using my ETP notebook, and I actually have like a little acetate sheet like this, and I put these post-it pads on it, and I write down the stuff that I want to do there, and then this essentially is the things I want to do for the next couple of weeks. Things I don't want to forget too. And where is my ETP notebook? I didn't use it today, so I'm lost. Here it is. That's underneath the Rama I bought from IKEA. Let me switch the camera too. Oops, what just happened? Okay. Alright, dudes. Yeah, everything fell down. That's not good. That's locking nut should have locked in place. Alright, so maybe it's just a little bit easier to see. So here's like what I'm using with the printed one. And then like this acetate sheet, it's the same width as like the column on this side, but I can move it from page to page. So what you might do is either you print out like 5 of these things and you pre-date them and you write what you want to do for that week. So it's like a regular planner in that sense. Or if you want to keep more of like a running task list, if you don't have so many specific things to do, you can like put them on like post-it pads and stick them in on there. So I just went to like AC Moore and I bought a sheet of acetate for like $1.50. Cut it down to I think 3 inches or whatever the width is of these post-it note things, and I just sort of keep it around. You know, maybe if you can find a piece of tinted acetate, you won't lose it as much as I do because this is transparent and I keep losing on tables. And then you can like pin it up someplace. I used to have like a restaurant check rail that I use for this kind of thing. So the big challenge I think is like you don't want to, I don't like entering things more than once. So I'm trying to have some system where I'm capturing what my focuses are, but I also don't like to like nail myself down exactly when I'm going to do them. It is useful ahead of time if you have to keep track of a lot of events. You can actually pre-fill in the times that's going to happen. This works better if you have a regular schedule. Like if you're always up at around, if you're starting your workday always around 9 o'clock, you can actually label the times and stuff like that on your ETP. And then just put in like at 10 o'clock I have this, 11 o'clock I have this, and so forth. And then maybe scatter things around like this. So yeah. So like, you know, I will use the ETP forms when I feel the need to be structured. Today, there was only one thing to do, so I didn't fill one out. I probably should just for continuity, or make some sort of note someplace so that I skip that day. But what I can do is, like when I fill out tomorrow's sheet, I'll just write a note that I skipped yesterday, so there is no one. So like if I'm going back and reviewing what I got done for the week by going through my past ETPs to get a sense of accomplishment, I'll see the note when I'm looking at, oh, there was no Monday one, so that's why there is. But I did go to IKEA, I did do all those sort of things. So I hope that answers your question. There has been a push to create some kind of like weekly planner version of the ETP. I've got a few requests for that over the years. When I get my shit together, maybe I'll be able to start working on that. That would be the job part of what I'm talking about. Get the Patreon stuff rolling again. But what I'm compelled to do this year, I think, if I were to look back at this year and think of what I've done, it has been trying to build this community thing. I've been trying to find ways of I guess, making more ways of connecting with people, and just figuring out what that means. And when I think about how much time I've spent looking at figuring out how to put together this streaming setup that I have, which I started, I think, late last year, I was wondering, like, of all the things to be obsessed about, why am I obsessed about streaming? I didn't even want to be, like, I didn't think I wanted to, like, you know, have my ugly face on YouTube or be interesting or try to be entertaining or anything like that. But nevertheless, I was compelled to find some means to express myself, or to at least have the technology and the experience to do that. And over time, I've kind of just fallen into having this co-working chat room because it was a way of like just kind of tying in with the YouTube chat stuff, figuring out how to do the multi-camera stuff because I wanted to seamlessly switch between things. You know, so and that's really all tied into G12, which is the again, it's the leadership role. And I don't mean leadership in the sense that like I want to be in charge of people, but leadership in that I'm trying to set some kind of path or some kind of example. Maybe leadership is even the wrong word for it. It's really more that I want to share what I'm doing with people, and I know that other people want to share what they're doing too, or be part of some sort of energy chain. That's really all I'm trying to do, maybe. And maybe I should write that down. Maybe the job is that I feel the urge to share my process of exploration and share in the experiences of other people doing the same kind of thing. And I know that there are others, people who definitely are craving that kind of how do you spell camaraderie from all over. The co-working chat room is proof of that. What I've heard directly from my friends and associates confirms it. This is not leadership for the sake of being in charge. It is taking action to ensure that what would you call it, a bed? Ensure that this energy is available. The assumption I have is that this energy will lead to positive outcomes of an unknown nature. That might sum it up. Maybe it's this. So man, that's what What's Up Dave is about. What's Up Dave is about sharing the process, because sharing the process is good. Is good. That's really all the justification I need. And I can think of ways how it's good, and maybe that's the product. Maybe that's the lead-in to the responsible aspects of doing what I'm doing. All right, enough of talking about that stuff, though. Let's look at pictures. So let's see. I think I've shown these already, but this is just where I live. It was snowy the other day, so I wanted to send a picture to my dad. I think I'll send him this one. Went to IKEA. There was a whole bunch of, I think these were a big bag of pomegranates or something, or maybe some sort of weird Swedish fruit. I should have looked closer. I took a picture of this Besta unit because I wanted to figure out what I'm eventually going to do with the TV over here. Right now it's just sitting on that table. And what I think I want to do is have something like these. Do I have an aux and I think I have a screen and aux. Yeah, I do actually. Huh. Oh, no, I don't. Okay, so I have. So there's the TV on the right side, and then I want to put something like this underneath the TV. Maybe not this tall. Maybe there's space to have store stuff underneath of it. So I'm not going to buy anything until I figure out what the shelf looks like when I put it over on this side. That's where the shelf is going to do. I had to take that table apart tonight, move it downstairs, sweep that part out, and then tomorrow I'll build the table. And then I'll kind of see what this space left over is like. So that's the goal with this. So now this thing I'm looking at now is the, let's go full screen aux. Oops, that's camera 2. I wanted this screen. So this was like, I just saw this stand-up table. It's like a bar table that was in like the home bedroom organization set. And I thought like, it might be neat to have a clothes island. So I've been thinking about buying like a dresser drawer or something like that, because like I don't have any. Buying a dresser drawer is the last sign of permanent, I'm gonna live here. And for some reason I've never like, you know, pulled the trigger on that. And I was looking at like where am I gonna put it, like in the middle of the room. Or I was trying to find a good place in the wall to put it, and there really wasn't a good place. But it occurred to me I could make like an island in the middle of the room that's kind of like the clothing island, in which like there's a tabletop there, and then I can just sort of assemble my outfit there. It'd be like if you're at a store, and then you could just kind of lay all the clothes out. Like if you're at a place that like it has that kind of concierge service. I'm thinking of a place like the Men's Warehouse, which is the fanciest place I've been to. And so when you're asking them for help for putting something together, they'll lay things out for you so you can see them all at the same time. That would be great, I think. That's a good idea. So I could get something like this and figure out if I can put a dresser, or maybe just put two dressers back to back, and that becomes a thing. So I'm thinking about how to do that. The dressers are quite large too. They're like 38, 39 inches across. So that might, I'll have to see if I can find space in there. These lamps over here, I'm thinking about putting them in the corner next to the bookshelf. So let's see if you can, so there's the table over there, if you can see, look in the lower right. Now the bookshelf will be against the wall, so it's facing us. So there's a little space next to it. And that's maybe where I can put a lamp, and the lamp I'm thinking of is one of these things, this big black industrial thing, because I think that will look cool. And the detail size of it, it's a big lamp, and so it will have its own kind of like sculptural presence, I guess you could say. You can see this. Oh, let's see. Guitarpreneur says, maybe creative pioneer explore trailblazer rather than leader. Think of Christopher Columbus, Lewis and Clark, etc. I guess if it's so I'm stepping back to, is it leadership I'm doing, or is it just process sharing? I'm not sure if it's like really as bold a claim as like being a Christopher Columbus or a Lewis and Clark. I'm not pioneering anything. I don't think. It's maybe more like a trail guide, or what would be the term? Guide, Sherpa? Something like that. I'm familiar with this type of journey and just go back and forth. Do people look for Sherpas? Although it sounds a little pretentious, maybe, to say, I'm a Sherpa of process. Maybe it's more like being a commuter train or a freight train. So like it's the I know, like I'm the the Santa Fe to San Francisco freight line or something like that. We go back and forth doing these things, producing stuff, and we haul stuff and we make things. I like the idea of it being kind of like a railroad, or being some sort of infrastructure, creative infrastructure that runs from this place to the other place. Oh, guru! I so dislike the term guru. I don't know, because I guess I associate other people who call themselves gurus as kind of like that has more, sometimes it has a cult-like connotation with leadership. I just want to be sort of the regular person who's just doing something. Squad leader comes to mind. So I'm thinking like a small group of people doing something, take that hill, or the interesting thing about a squad leader or sergeant is that they're embedded, they're not giving you commands or saying that they're better than you, and you have to listen to what they say, but they are experienced, and they've taken the mission as the key focus, not them being the leader, but this is the thing we need to do, and if someone is going to set the example for moving forward. But it doesn't sound as sexy as a guru. I could wear a lot more silk robes, I suppose, if I was a guru. Maybe I could get like a luxurious gray wig or something like that, play the part. I don't know, who else has a kind of a leadership connotation? That's a little bit more down to earth. That's a little bit more accessible. One thing I don't like about guru too is like there's this kind of like they're up on this higher plane than you are. And other things are like there's a whole apprenticeship model, the master apprentice. I'm not a master of anything, so I would feel uncomfortable doing that. Maybe entrepreneur is the closest thing, but that's still not quite what I'm going for, because I'm not so business focused. You can take the entrepreneur title And he can, like, I'll follow you when you're doing cool stuff, and I'll just be puttering around over here with my my design and stuff and see where that goes. Anyway, it's something to think about. Maybe we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Are there any other interesting pictures here to look at? I was making note of these lights. These are lights that go on top of the bookshelves. Jedi, that's even better. Padawan, how's that? Or that could be like Ewan McGregor in The Phantom Menace. I'm trying to think of those, like some like, actually, like I'm thinking now in terms about Firefly, that science fiction show, to be like, to be the captain of your own starship, like in the sense that Mal is the captain of his ship. What do you say at the end of the Serenity movie? It's like love makes the ship fly, or something like that. That was like a sentiment that was very close to my heart when they said it. And this is me in line at IKEA. This took forever to get out of there. Let's see what they were buying. This is actually, it was their clothing day, or their company Christmas party day, so they closed early. So I was lucky to get out of that place, and only had to get the tail end of rush hour traffic in Boston. Anyway, that's today's stream, I think. There's things to do. I'm going to take apart that table over there, and I think tomorrow will be another day of doing that kind of stuff, plus some writing. Haven't done a lot of revenue generating activities, but toward the end of this week, hopefully we'll get back toward that kind of thing. I need to get the rhythm of the responsible part of making back into my life, and also get the health related stuff back. I did buy a bunch of lean chicken protein, and I made a big pot of beans yesterday, so I can go back to my keto diet. I refilled all of my water reservoirs with enough water, which I'm supposed to drink throughout the day. I just need to do it. I've done it before, so I know now I know how it works, so it should be pretty automatic. Although, like, it's been cold lately, I've been like really craving carbs, so getting over that is going to take some mental fortitude. Perhaps if I get more done, I will feel more mental fortitude, because achievement tends to help my resilience rather than just doing things. Yeah, been good to hang out with you again. Did you get to check out my writing app suggestion on Google Docs? I did not see that. Where did you post that? Was it in the Docs DS co-work area? Let me take a look. We'll take a look in our in the co-working chat. We have, or I set up a place. Where did I put it? Let's see if there's been recent changes. Show me? Recent? No one's made any modifications. What's the Stella report? Saying, check out the writing on Google Doc. I'm not sure what you're talking about, dude. Let me put it in here. I started writing like my project rate sheet, just to make something very simple to replace the old one, which I think still might be around. If I go to designdavidsay.com, is this still up? Yeah, this is 2011 was when I last did this. Let's see. This is to replace my terms of work. This probably hasn't changed very much. All my rates have gone up. It might be worth just readapting this website. This was a nice little website. I really kind of liked the way this came out. Pretty simple. I don't know how it looks in mobile though. It probably looks like crap. I probably need to relay out the whole thing, but all the inner content can probably work. Anyway, now there's the writing one. The writing one. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Was it in DocsDS Cowork? Where would that be? The writing one. Yeah, I'll check in the did you write in the website? Let me see, is it in the co-working chat? Looking for links. Oh well, like I guess fill me in later. So I think I gotta call this a night. It's 11 o'clock. I should be going to sleep now. I guess I'll take the table apart tomorrow. Because if I start taking anything apart, I'm gonna start putting the shelf together, and I'll go to sleep at 6 a.m. or something, and that would be bad. So I'm gonna start winding down. Maybe I'll do a little bit of practice on Rainbow Six Siege, see if I do any better on that, and we'll get back to this tomorrow morning. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day. Christmas is coming. I probably should make sure that I have all the Christmas presents I'm supposed to get. Oh, yeah, there's stuff to do. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I wonder if people like it that I'm still kind of live here when I'm waiting for the stream to stop. I think I can shut this down now.